Morning.
Nice broadcast first with Jeremy kicking us off, isn't it?
Morning.
So final team news, Winston Reed's had his operation Wednesday. How is he, first of all?
He's good. He's done the operation. He's going to be out for 10 weeks. Yeah. So, but he's going to be ready, for the start of the new season. But he done well. And it's like that, He can't play the last game of the season, of course, but he played with the pain last few games, and then we decided to do the operation after the Liverpool game, and that is the case. The operation was very successful, and as I said, he's going to be back in 10 weeks' time.
Does that mean you may give Declan Rice the first Premier League start?
Well, we're going to see. We have a game on Sunday. We have many injuries, right? But he's one of them that may play. Or he's in a squad.
He's only 18. How good is he?
He's very good for his age. He's extremely good. He's matured. Well, it's all based to trainings, and he plays really well for under 23. There is a bright future in him, and it's all down to him. He played a couple of games in the pre-season when we went to States, and we were missing few players. And he's very matured. I can see him being a really good player.
On the other team uses Andy Calvin.
Andy's no. Andy's got that hip problem, and because of that he didn't play last whatever games. And as I said, it was always, in the beginning it was 50-50, but then he still feels it, and it's not improving. So he can't train. He didn't train for a long time now, and it's impossible for him to play, of course.
And it's the final game of the season. You're on 42 points. You're 20 short of where you finished last season. So how important is it you finish with a win?
Well, it's always very important because now is the last game. You can't make it up, and it's still we can improve our position. And as I said, we have injuries and all that, but it's the last game of the season. We have to give everything to try to win the game and to finish in the best possible way. So it's a very important game, of course, for us.
Looking back on the season now, how would you sum it up?
Well, it was a very difficult season, not only for us, but for the teams around us. The table shows that first you have those 6 clubs, the big ones, then Everton, and then you have like 5, 6, 7, 8 clubs that is all in 3, 4, 5 points, which means it was a very tough season for all of us. We plan to do better, but as I said a couple of times, considering everything, the move, the injuries, and the situation with some players, we've done that minimum goal, and I have to praise the players for that. In the crucial moments, we had our ups and downs. As I said, we had 2 bad moments in the beginning of the season, and then this last in a period in March, I think, or April, when we lost 5 games. Apart from that, we done well. So basically, every time that we were not in a trouble, but 1 game away from being in a trouble, we reacted really well.
Do you agree there's got to be a big improvement by next season?
Well, I can say that because, as I said, if we stay out of the injuries, and if we improve our squad, and then we settle down to the new home, to the stadium, I'm expecting us to benefit a lot from this season, because this season was very hard for us, but you build your character individually and as a team the most when it's going tough, and we've done it. So that's why I'm very optimistic.
You talked about improving the squad. Would you like Zabaleta and Iheanacho?
Yeah, but look, I said about improving. We don't have to improve a squad. We don't need squad players, because take our last game against Liverpool, we were without, 8 players, and still we had a decent team. So that shows that squad-wise, with the quantity of the players, we are okay, we are good. But we would like to improve the quality on some of the positions. So I ain't going to talk about names now, but we are working on them, and hopefully we're going to be successful in finishing those transfers for the targets that we want.
Would you like to get Jermaine Defoe back to
Yeah, but look, I told you now that I ain't going to discuss names. I mean, there are plenty. I mean, there's no reason, because the most of the players are linked in the papers with West Ham, and to be fair, the big majority of those rumors, there's no truth in them. But we have our targets, and we're going to try to do them.
A couple of your players are out of contract, Adrian and Arbeloa. Is Arbeloa on his way? Adrian, what can you say about him?
Adrian, he is, but we have an option, and we activated that option, and he's our player. We are happy with him, of course. With Arbeloa, it's a different situation. He came for 1 season, and his contract is out now. But of course, I'm going to discuss all those things with the players, not with the press, in the first place.
And also, people like Reece Oxford, who's been on loan. Do you loan him for next season as well? Or?
As I said, I already spoke to Reece a couple of days ago, and with the club and with his agent, and we're going to see. But for Reece, it's a shame that he didn't play when he went on loan to Reading. Okay, there are some reasons, because he went already to the club that was playing good, and maybe it was a move too big for him in that moment. But for Reece, like for any other young player, it is the most important thing is for him to play and to have that match practice, to have a season where he can feel that kind of competitive football week in, week out.
A couple of final points. What was your favourite moment of the season, Slaven?
Favourite moment of the season? Basically every win or every good performance, especially if the outcome was a win. But if you ask me one, then it's when we beat Spurs at home. That was for me the best moment of the season for us, for me.
And also this idea of retrospective bans, a 3-man panel, if they're unanimous about diving. Sam was saying it's rubbish yesterday. What do you think?
I wouldn't say it's rubbish. I mean, we have to do all that we can to stop diving and to keep fair play and all that. Panel, 3-man panel. Well, at least I'm not sure about that.
Slaven, have you enjoyed this season in light of everything that's gone on, moving the stadium, Dimitri Payet? What have you learned for next season that will make it a better season?
Make no mistake, I enjoyed the last season more than this one. This season was not enjoyable in the way that you are always smiling and all that, but it was but you are also enjoying in tough times, especially that, as I said before, you are benefiting in whatever way of life, you are benefiting more when it's going tough. It's not enjoyable during that period, but after that, when you see that, definitely you become out of that much more stronger, not only as a manager, not only as an individual player, but the most as a you are building the character of your team, which is also very important and the key thing for the future. The best during the tough times. So that's why, that is one of the reasons why I'm really optimistic.
You mentioned Andy Carroll missing the game. How important is it that next season he has to play more games? He's only featured 22 times. It's hindering you as a manager that you can't put him out.
But I said it a few times. We were talking, unfortunately, about his situation last year also. He's so valuable for us, and he makes such a big impact on our game that he's very important for us. And then when he's not available, of course you feel it and the team feels it. And the worst thing for the team and for the manager is this kind of situation that you are counting on a player and then suddenly he's not available for a lot of games. And then on top of that, it wasn't only Andy Carroll, we had also the same situation. If we are talking about that position, we had the same situation with Sacco whole season. So and those two names were on a paper like before the season, like, okay, we are good, we are solid there, we have quality, we have pace, we have presence, we have goals, we have everything. And then suddenly, and I'm not talking about March, I'm talking about August. They're not there. So it's not a good situation for us. So we can only hope. I will never give up. If you're asking about Andy and all that, but that situation has to improve.
Trevor Brookins was commentating for us on 5 Live this week, and he spoke glowingly about Pablo Zabaleta. Said it'd be a good signing, but he said one of the reasons was because he's the leader on the pitch and he can take the game by the scruff of the neck. Something that you lack this season. Is that something you'd agree with?
Look, we have leaders in our team, and we have good vocal players in our team, and we also have few. We have a good core of, let's say, British players who are leaders, and plus some foreigners who are skippers in their club, and they are also the reason why we made it at the end of the day in very difficult times. Every time that was really difficult for us, and we needed it, and we needed to show that character before the game, a week before a game, and especially when the game started. We've done it, and they are the reasons for that. So we have the people like, starting with Mark Noble, of course, who is a great captain. We have Collins, we have Reid, Carroll when he was there. Then we had also like players like Fonte, who was a captain of Southampton long enough in the Premier League, long enough that you can also call him British or whatever, and a few more. So we are good in that.
And last one from me, slightly off topic, I hope you don't mind. Champions League final last week, you gave Luka Modric his promotion into the senior squad of Croatia. Is he one of the most underrated players in Europe?
Well, for me, when he was at Spurs, he was playing on this level. He's playing like on this level in the last 10 years or whatever. But at Spurs, he was for me one of the best midfielders in Europe. And then we could have said that he was underrated. But now he's very, very recognized. And I think because of Real Madrid, because of his performances week in, week out, the most of the football people are rating him as, if not the best. For me, he's the best in that position. He's a very unique player. But they are rating him as definitely one of the best. So he's not underrated because the whole world know what he's capable of. Cheers.
Yes, the positives out of what you've described as an up and down season. Do you feel relieved that it's coming to an end now?
Yes, I do. But we still have. I'm very motivated for this game. We want to finish with a we want to finish on positive. But yes, I'm glad it's over. We all need a rest. Mostly I'm relieved because we have many injuries and all that. But I'm relieved. We need a break and we need to rest and prepare for the next season. But then again, on the other hand, we can talk about that on Monday because I'm very motivated for this game.
I know there's still one game to play, but you've been optimistic. You said you've built character this season as well. Bearing that in mind, what would West Ham's ambitions, your ambitions, be for next season?
Look, the ambitions are to be like the minimum. If you ask me in 2 questions, I mean to finish in top 10, but with a hope or plan, or ideally would be to break in, I don't know, top 8, top 7 or top 6. It's going to be very hard. We showed last year that is very possible, especially but you have to tick all the boxes. You have to have a good transfer window, then you have to stay out of the injuries, and we settle down in a stadium, so it ain't gonna be booming and glooming straight away whole time, but we feel it's our home. We had some really good performances. We had some really bad performances there, but also some really good, and this should all help us being better than next season, knowing that all the other teams are going to do the same. And if we are talking, like I said before, apart from these six that made this season basically major difference. I mean, they lost some points. We beat Spurs, but if you see the game yesterday, 6-1 and all that, with Leicester not being that bad, to be fair, that shows that they made a gap big. So, and then you have all those clubs who are like 1 point more or same points as you have, but they're also looking to improve. And again, it's going to be tough season for all the clubs. But we have let's say in these couple of seasons, we lived everything, So, and that's really great experience to have when you are approaching next season.
Just finally on the game on Sunday, how do you get the players up for a game? You're safe now. You've got to travel all the way up to Burnley. I know you want to finish on a high, but how do you get the players up for it?
Look, I don't like to spend a lot of time talking about how you are motivating the players. Maybe I'm old-fashioned or whatever, but the players should be motivated by themselves. But then you see that you have one kind of a performance against Spurs, and then 1 week after you have different kind of a performance. Okay, the result effect against Liverpool and all that. So I tried to avoid that factor of being without pressure, in a positive way. But that happens. So, but this game is also, so for me, players should be motivated because it's a Premier League, it's the last game of the season. That motivation has to last a couple of days only. It's not like 4, 5 weeks, month or whatever. So it's 90 minutes. That is also going to affect the season. And with the position, last game is always your last memory that you're going to have from this season. So I hope and I expect the players to be like that. Yeah.
Do you have anything to say?
Just what are you expecting from Burnley on Sunday?
Exactly the same what they shown us this season. Very organized team, very tough team. They have a really, for their standards, they had a great season. Their form, especially home form, is magnificent. So they want to finish on high. Okay, so I'm expecting very, very tough game against them.
Okay, cameras off, Steve.